Oh man, it's been a minute. New Sprint Ride Option podcast. Andrew Pasquini, Jason Aponte. So many things to talk about. It's going to be a nice, fun episode before we get too serious in the coming weeks. Come hang out. New Sprint Ride Option podcast starts now.
Welcome everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option podcast. Oh man, ain't it beautiful to be back? It is a new episode of the Sprint Ride Option podcast. As I said at the top, Andrew Pasquini, joined as always by Jason Aponte. It's been safe to say it's been a little bit. I think we went the whole month of June without recording once. We recorded once in May, but dare I say, Jason, we didn't want to have the same 4 conversations over a span of 6 weeks. So we just kind of hung out, kind of saw what was going on in Niners world, and we're back. We're back, Jason.
Andrew, stop playing. Stop burying the lead. Tell the people about you went to a softball game.
Oh, we're opening with that.
Yeah, well, let's open with it because I love that for you, Andrew. I love that. I love that for you, Andrew.
It was the motivation. It was actually the motivation behind the text as to why I was like, hey, let's get this going again. Let's run it back. Last Tuesday, shout out Corbin. I believe it was Corbin. I told him, though, I'm not the best with names. If I mess it up, this is me telling you I'm not good with names. But I believe it was Corbin. I was at my slow pitch softball game last week, and I was hitting. And Corbin, he was the catcher for the other team. He goes, hey, you haven't been on YouTube in a hot minute. And I go, what? Because I'm focused. I'm trying to hit this softball 900 feet. I hit it like 12 feet. It wasn't a great game for us. And I go, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, yeah, you're Andrew Pasquini, aren't you? I go, wow, this has never happened. It happened once in line at the Stanford game, the Stanford UCLA game. So it doesn't happen often. I literally got done with the game and I texted Jason. I go, hey, we got to get back. Like people, the streets of Sacramento is requesting.
The streets are a lot of the motivation behind why many of us do what we do.
Yes.
And if the streets are requesting that Andrew Pasquini and I get behind the mic again, even to talk about something that hasn't happened yet, you've got to do it.
Got it. We're going to have fun. I mean, I don't want to call it this officially because we are going to talk like Niners stuff, but this episode should have the vibes of an after dark a little bit because this really feels like the last week before we get pretty serious because we're talking tomorrow, rookies report. That's exciting in
tomorrow,
itself.
Rookies do report. Absolutely.
And then next Tuesday, the rest of the team reports, and we're just right back into it. We're at the point of the year where I'm excited for football for the next 2 weeks. And then we get into the training camp and everybody posting stats and all that stuff. And then I'm back to okay, let's just start playing real football. Jordan Elliott.
Look, we're getting trolled off the rip. Shout out to Jordan Elliott. Love him so much. I will defer to the soccer. No. I'm sorry. The football expert on this podcast. And that would be Andrew Pasquini. So I will defer to him.
Well, Jason, if you are a fan of letting Parag cook, Leeds United is your football team. So, are they going to get Kylian Mbappe? Are they going to get Ronaldo? Are they going to get Messi? No, because he's in Miami.
No, but are they going to sign someone who has a checkered injury past and make sure that they get him for a lower price? This is the question does his whole ideology switch right over from football to football?
Are they is Marcus Lattimore available? That's my question.
Are you going to overpay a guy who has been injured like Michael Smith for a ton of time? Or are you going to backload a contract like that for explain to me in football terms. Who the players would be.
That might be a tough one for me because I'm not at that point. Listen, all I know is I'm pretty sure Leeds, I think they need to be more focused on not finishing near the bottom of the table because I think they narrowly avoided relegation last year. I'm confirming. Yeah. Oh no, I lied. They did not avoid relegation. They actually got relegated to Championship League. So they're not even in the Premier League anymore. So what money they have to spend, I do not know, Jason, and I am not up to date on my Championship League knowledge. I'm more of a Premier League guy. Yeah, see, Jordan knows they got relegated. I remember them, Everton and Leicester were in that little battle at the end of the season. I couldn't remember. I'm so out of the soccer. But the Wolverhampton throw the back. Yeah, only throw the back at Holland. That feels like a good strategy. That's what City did. City is really liking that. We're starting hot here. It's been 2 months. We're already on the Premier League talk.
We haven't been on a podcast in a while, and the only way to open this up is to talk about football, not actual like 49ers football. Jedi knows ball. Jedi knows ball. Yeah, Jedi channel member absolutely knows ball. 100%.
Well, I was hoping the Niners would throw the money at Harry Kane this offseason, but they decided to draft Jake Moody with the 99th pick. You know,
wow, you don't like kickers?
Harry Kane's available. Like one of the best.
You don't like kickers?
I love kickers. That's why I wanted him to go get Harry Kane. Leo Messi just signed with Miami.
All right,
they're wanting to come to the United States.
No, let's start now. This is how we're going to kick off the 49ers football stuff. Robbie Gould just came out and said that he told the 49ers, I am 100% ready to come back. And he said he never heard back.
I think he remembered his last contract extension, and that's what he was trying to do.
My bad. I'm sorry. I was just getting to this kind of real quick. What? Hold on.
Jason Aponte's back, baby, like he ever left.
And that's it. The Riz got to come like all the way back. I don't know what Riz stands for. I think it's charisma. I think
charisma.
That's like so Riz is about charisma. Okay.
Charisma per the streets.
But I'm glad that we opened with the football because of the comment that I just opened up. But Robbie Gould wants to be back, and the 49ers said no. Andrew Pasquini, you go first.
I mean, listen, anytime like I think it's an upgrade, just not because Robbie Gould's not bad, but anytime you could have two kickers instead of one, like you gotta do it. Zane Gonzalez and Jake Moody.
Andrew, you're burying the lead.
No.
If Robbie Gould wants to be back, why would you waste? Never mind. All right, go. You go.
Well, I think it was the cap space situation. I mean, what's a Robbie Gould going for?
There's $9 million for the 49ers to mess around with. And I think Jordan just like nailed it. Robbie Gould got that new Future album turned up to 11, plotting his revenge on his team. And Future is out here just putting out every single fire verse that he can before he drops a toxic album during the summer. And if Robbie Gould is on Future time, then I'm not upset. I hope someone signs Robbie Gould and he starts to feel like I got it out the field. Fuck Russell. Like literally, that's the like one of the first lines from Future is like new record. I'm like incorporating hip hop into this now. So yeah.
Well, you mentioned the Niners having $9 million in cap space, and you say what better can they do? What about Yannick Ngakoue? Everybody was talking about him 3 months ago, like he was going to change the Niners defense, and he obviously still hasn't signed. So like. He's available. I was actually going to make the joke because we're going to get a little Madden ratings, and since I like to make fun of it,
you might as well.
Do you know who the 5th highest rated safety in Madden is this year?
It's not. I know Talanoa Hufanga is not in this list.
It's not Hufanga. Hufanga wasn't even in the top 10.
He's not.
And now I want to make sure I get this right.
First team All Pro Talanoa Hufanga was not on the first 10.
Wasn't even a top 4 safety in the ESPN rankings.
Insane.
I'm trying to I thought I had this pulled up, but the EA website has screwed with me.
Well,
the number
shout out
5
to EA being terrible.
I know, right? Go. Number 5 safety in Madden, or excuse me, number 6, 91 overall. Tyrann Mathieu. Oh my god. And so my joke, the Yannick Ngakoue joke kind of fed into it. The only place that overrates Tyrann Mathieu higher than Madden is 49ers Twitter when he's available.
Ooh,
thank you.
Fried their asses. Let's go, my boy.
Sitting on that one.
Oh man, he's been sitting on that for a month. He's been waiting to
the Madden ratings came out today, so I've been sitting on it for like
God. And if Jordan Elliott is watching, he would tell you that Yannick Ngakoue is a product of sacks that he got because of coverage. So
sources.
And also, I trust Jordan. Shout out to Jordan.
I trust Jordan too.
Yeah,
I trust Jordan with a lot of things actually.
Your life?
Jimmy Ward was rated higher than Talanoa Hufanga.
I don't feel that bad about that. Let's talk about
it. Yeah, no, that one feels good. Jamal Adams is still an 88.
That one bothers me a little bit.
That one's weird. Do you want to actually talk Niners ratings instead of me just listing random safeties?
No. I think that's a good one. I think that Jimmy Ward being rated higher than Talanoa Hufanga is not a problem. And I don't think that anybody who's actually watched yeah, exactly, Jordan. Andrew doesn't trust you with his life. I would.
I absolutely trust.
I'm just saying. I had noted. Yeah,
I trust Jordan with my life better than I trust myself with my own life, dog.
I mean the same thing with me as well too. That's why I'm going to stay with him soon. The thing is this. Jimmy Ward is much more of a diverse player at this point in his career than Hufanga is. Mm-hmm. That feels like at the one time they got it right. Yeah. I feel like they didn't do anything wrong. Like they're straight.
And I think what a lot of people lose with these video games ratings, and I like this is peak off-season content, just talking video game ratings here on the Sprint Right Option podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Jason Monte's YouTube channel, great place to subscribe to if you haven't already. The thing that people forget about these video games ratings is they're based on previous years as well. They try and do I know MLB The Show does a 3-year rolling type thing, where it's based off their last 3 years. So I guess that's where Jimmy Ward comes into play, obviously. I don't know where it comes with Tyrann Mathieu. That one's an interesting sixth best safety in the NFL, according to Madden. That feels like a 2017 thing. 2023.
And again, that's based on reputation.
Yes.
That's not based on anything. I will say this. I didn't watch Tyrann Mathieu a ton, or the Saints, so I don't have a strong opinion one way or another. But if one guy is rated as the first team All-Pro, and Madden is catering to a very casual fan base,
yes,
and these ratings are designed to get us all upset, it's how do you explain this one to me?
Yes.
And I don't get it at all. But I am happy for Jimmy Ward. I am very happy for Jimmy Ward. Very happy for Jimmy Ward. It's good to see that.
Do you want to hear the most casual rating according to me?
Go for it.
Deebo Samuel, 89. Brandon Ayuk, 86. At wide receiver.
Altogether?
The overall, Deebo Samuel's an 89. Ayuk's an 86. I think Ayuk needs to be higher.
All right, talk to me. Go.
Than Deebo.
Go.
Because I don't think I played Madden last year. They don't have any mechanic to really make Deebo Samuel himself. They have the Niners playbook has a Deebo package that has 3 whole plays. Outside of that, you're using Deebo Samuel as a wide receiver. 3 whole plays. 3. You could use Deebo to run
just for him. Just for him.
Run the it's called the Deebo package where he is. It's a wildcat with Deebo Samuel at quarterback more or running back. Not quarterback, running back. I should get that right. But no, I've been very loud on this, at least for 3 years now, that Brandon Ayuk's a better wide receiver than Deebo Samuel. I'm not trying to make the whole offensive weapon argument because I do see the value in Deebo Samuel from there. If we're just talking strictly wide receiver, though, Brandon Ayuk's better. And that's just where I'll sit. I've been sitting in that lane for a few years now. And now's not the time to lose it because this is where you want to start buying those Brandon Ayuk stocks, right? Yep. Like 2020 week 1, 2, 3, or no, 2021 week 1, 2, 3, 4, very low time to buy those stocks. This is like the ideal time because this feels like, I don't know where 1,000 receiving yards finished in terms of top receivers and yardage last year, and I could look that up. Brandon Ayuk's going to do better this year. That's one of my bold predictions going into the year. Harold, how you doing? We appreciate you for jumping in. Let me see. What number do you think Brandon Ayuk in terms of receiving yards finished last year? Where do you think 1,000 gets you?
16th.
16th. Let's see here. Receiving. We're going to go yards. Brandon Ayuk finished 22nd in receiving yards with 1,015.
And Andrew, I think the bigger discussion needs to be had about not why you feel that Brandon Ayuk is disrespected, but also understanding that we might be in a time where the game has turned into a wide receiver friendly game based on passing, and you might be looking at the greatest talent that at the wide receiver position than ever before. Okay, Jerry Rice is the greatest, and I've seen this being floated out. I don't want to hear it. No one's better than Jerry.
No.
But when you look at the overall crop of talent, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams,
AJ Brown.
Like what are we doing? Cooper Kupp. Like we are literally looking at a time.
Tyreek.
Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. Let's keep going.
And I mean, if we even want to get weirder with how the tight end positions evolve, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, I know they're tight ends. But I'm looking at a list that said Travis Kelce had the 8th most receiving yards in the NFL last
year. And look, I think what we need to do is we need to stop being so worried about where certain people lie within receiving yards or the rankings and start to realize that we are literally in an era of the greatest wide receiver group that the game of football has ever seen. And again, I'm biased. I'm, living in this time, and people are going to be like, "Oh, well, you know what's crazy about it is people would disvalue the talent that's here because back in the day you couldn't hit wide receivers, you couldn't press them, you couldn't touch them, but you need to be athletic. Athleticism beats the other side of athleticism, and this wide receiver group, I would take. And I love Jerry Rice; he's the greatest of all time. I love Randy Moss. I think Terrell Owens is better than Randy Moss. Also, that's not really a hot take. But when you look at these guys, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, and you look at the way that they get themselves open, you are watching the best the best group that's ever done it. And I don't care. Yell at me, 49ers fans. Yell at me for not knowing ball. Yell at me for not taking other times into no, man. Let Deion Sanders line up against some of these guys, and I'd love to take my chance with Justin Jefferson and Devontae. I'll take my chance.
And you mentioned this too, like you Jerry Rice, like that whole 80s, 90s receiver core, Jerry Rice, Michael Everett, all great receivers. I'm not taking that away. But I really think that the reason for this great, amazing core of receivers we have is because of the Terrell Owens, the Randy Mosses, the Chad Johnson / Ocho Cincos. The mid 2000 receiving group up until 2010, 2011 really made wide receiver a sexy position, right? You saw guys like Terrell Owens and Randy Moss being the loudest guys on the team. Hey, 187, don't mention Terry McLaurin as well. Don't do that either.
Who?
That's a rough one.
Look, I mentioned 187. He's a New York guy, man, and I never really thought about the idea that we passed on Justin Jefferson because I think the whole idea about Justin Jefferson was he's a slot receiver. He's only a slot receiver.
Well, it could be worse. There could be video of your team passing on Justin Jefferson. Like, was it the Eagles?
Yes.
Was it the Eagle? Who'd they take?
They drafted Jalen Reagor.
Jalen Reagor. I almost said Nelson Aguilar, but I know that was a few years early.
Jalen Reagor. Here we go.
JKBG.
Go. You read it.
I told my ex she's like a wide receiver and that she stacks numbers and guys find
Just say it.
And guys always find her open and jam it in there. And she took it as an insult. Not sure why. JK, I've missed you. I have absolutely
I miss all of you guys.
I miss all of you. So this has been amazing.
This is
we're as we said, this is going to be the last like after dark vibey episode until we get to real stuff, real football conversation.
Andrew, today someone asked me, "What did you eat today?" And I said, "I ate vibes. I'm rolling on vibes, and vibes are what we're doing today."
Hey, actually, there's a photo, speaking of what we're doing, and I can't scroll that far, but there's a photo that was sent to me via our group chat last week. You and I, at the exact same time, were watching Alex Smith put together a masterclass against Drew Brees. That was pretty cool. I saw the photo of our tweets like on top of each other. That was a cool moment that we were. It was cool to know that even me in Sacramento and you in New Jersey, you and I doing the exact same thing at the exact same
time. That's a big moment, man. And I talked about it with Brad, right? Like, because someone gave us a generous donation on one of our last shows and asked what time, if time travel was, actually prevalent and you could do it, where would you want to be transported as a 49ers fan? So my first instinct as an elder statesman, not too much elder, mine was the 1994 NFC Championship game against the Dallas Cowboys, because the 49ers had failed to clear that hurdle before they got to. And Brad said the divisional game, but also actually what he said was the Dwight Clark catch, which is, by the way, fair option. But he talked about that divisional game because the 49ers had been so bad for so long. And you know what? This is how you know a game is important. When you can remember exactly where you were when that game happened. And I can remember exactly where I was when Alex Smith rolled out and scored that touchdown, and then Drew scored, and then he threw it to Vernon Davis for I know exactly where I was, man. And that is still, the birth of my daughter's up there. Certain birthdays are up there.
Yeah.
But that one's got to be up there, right, Andrew?
Yeah. Oh, I was sitting on the couch with Jamie last Wednesday when the game was on, and we were flipping through the channels.
Wait, hold up. Okay, so you're talking about me tweeting out they're showing.
Well, but it ties into this. Perfect. I'm sitting there flipping through the channels. We're trying to find something to watch, and I get to NFL Network, and the fourth quarter is just starting, and I turned to her and I go, "I'm sorry, this is my favorite football game of all time. I got to watch this fourth quarter." She goes, "Haven't you already seen it?" It's like, "Yeah, but even I can't even, like, I've seen this 900 times. I'm afraid it's going to change. Like, I'm afraid Vernon's going to drop it, or the Saints are going to a third and 6 was a 3rd and 6 and a rollout with Alex Smith, just straight up a rollout. And I think there's a penalty. There's a penalty right before it.
Incredible play call. And that's Jim Harbaugh, by the way.
And yeah, so that, I guess, to answer your question, I'm going to cheat, and I'm just going to go the whole Jim Harbaugh era. I want to live that again, because I don't think people remember this very small detail. The Niners were coming off a very bad year. Secret, the Niners were very bad for most of my childhood. Like, I'm jealous of kids now because they're like, "Oh, this team is amazing. Like, every year they're going to the playoffs. Really cool." Jim Harbaugh's first year was the lockout year. So the Niners didn't have a full camp. They barely had full practices. And going into that year, it was like, man, new head coach, no practices. What are they going to do? Like, how's this going to work? And obviously what it becomes is this 3-year run that at that time we hadn't seen since before my life, right? Yeah. Like, I wasn't alive when Joe Montana was winning Super Bowls.
Me neither.
Exactly. And
I was alive. I just don't remember.
Yeah, no, I was alive for 94, but I don't know what the hell happened. I was
exactly. Okay, perfect.
I was
perfect. That's the best way. Wow, Jesus Christ!
All right, yeah, I know. I don't like rewatching that game anymore, because the Saints Niners game, because it reminds me that was 12 years ago. That was 12 years ago, Jason Aponte. That Niners Saints game was 12 years ago.
Wow.
But. I just want to go back to the Jim Harbaugh days, because there was something to them. And I mean, I guess it's a good time to bring this joke up. Could you imagine a world where 2 years ago, the Raiders hired Jim Harbaugh? Like, the rumor was that the Raiders were in on him, and then they brought in Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh my God.
What did I say? But what did I say?
We'd be Raider fans.
But what did I say
after? I'd be a Raider fan.
But what did I say after when we spoke pre-show?
Oh man, that was already 3.5 hours ago, Jason. That was a long time ago.
Back up quarterback Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. My thing is just Niner fans. The first time Jim Harbaugh would do the little pump up thing with Jimmy Garoppolo in a Raiders uniform, I think Niner fans would have lost their collective minds.
I'm super glad that you brought up Joe Montana and stuff that you can't remember, because I feel like I want to have a discussion with you about how I should feel about things that I wasn't alive to witness.
Okay.
And I want to be down the middle with you because I'm a New York Yankees fan, and so many of my Yankees fans yell about 27 championships. Well, I'm like, well, you weren't fucking alive when Babe Ruth was like winning championships. Like, why do you care? Like, I don't. All right. So I want to have a frank discussion, and I want our comment section to chime in, and I want to hear the discussion. As far as I'm concerned, history for me and things that I celebrate don't start until I can celebrate them.
Yes.
Okay? I don't care that the 1961 New York Yankees won World Series when I was how many years away from even being conceived. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right? It's not that I don't care, but I don't connect with the fact that Joe DiMaggio had a 56-game hitting streak. It does not resonate with me.
No.
Now, when we go to the 49ers, it's not that I don't care, but I celebrate my past, but that's not something that's close to my heart at all. I care about things that I can remember exactly where I am. There's pictures of me in a 49ers uniform or a jersey while the 49ers are winning. My dad put me in or whatever. Cool. I don't remember them shits. And when the 49ers don't get it done and they don't win the Super Bowl, I don't sit in my bed at night when I'm upset that the Niners lost and say, well, they won in 1989 and they won. It's just, Andrew, tell me where the disconnect is, because I 100% only care about things that I was able to experience.
I remember my dad after the Niners lost that Super Bowl against the Ravens. Like, one of the things he was sneaky bummed about was like, they're not undefeated in Super Bowls anymore.
No,
like for him, he could have that.
And you know what's funny? Now that you bring that up, Cap threw the first interception that a 49ers quarterback has ever thrown in a Super Bowl. And my dad looked at me right after it happened, before it went on the screen, and said, that's the first interception that any 49ers quarterback has ever thrown. And I did not believe him. And then they flashed that shit across the screen. And I was just like, damn it.
Yeah. No, and like, I really wish I was alive for the 80s. Like, I think to live, like, I'm going to be biased, and I think Patriot fans, if there's any in here, are going to disagree. I think the 49ers in the 80s is one of the greatest dynasty in football history. And I'll hand up and be wrong on it. I know New England, what they've done, whatever. I don't care.
Cheated.
I'll take the Niners. Yeah, they cheated. They cheated. All the deflated footballs and the cameras.
Cheated. And them losing after the year that they won every single game, that's a bigger stain on them than anything ever again.
Yeah. No. Nobody remembers the undefeated season. It's just 18-1. That's all it is now. And so I absolutely wish that I was alive for it. But Jason, I'm with you. Like, if it was, I don't even claim 94, and I was technically alive.
I do. That's the one I remember.
Well, yeah, you remember it because you were alive. But I was.
Say it. Say the word you really want to say. Not because I was alive.
I was barely alive. That's all I was going to say.
Say it.
Jason, you are in your prime.
Wow. I love you so much,
I got
man.
you, buddy.
I love you. Words of affirmation are like my third love language.
I don't count anything really before 2000. I mean, I barely remember the catch too with Owens against the Packers.
Right? Oh, I remember that.
I vaguely remember it. That's probably which one happened first? Because I think my first my first football memory was Garrison Hurst breaking his leg. So the week before, that was
So
that was that game. So I guess technically that was my first memory.
Yeah, the week before was the catch, and then the week after, Garrison Hurst breaks his leg against Atlanta, and they lose by 2 points. The fun fact, because I just wrote about this on Niners Nation, by the way, if you don't know, that Andrew Pasquini and I both write for Niners Nation. Garrison Hurst, if you guys forget, breaks his ankle and breaks his fibula in the first few plays. Terry Kirby injures himself also on a punt coverage, and the highest rated run game in the league is literally reduced to nothing. And Terry Kirby tried to gut it out, But unfortunately, for a lot of 49er fans, and especially the ones that are newer and not newer, but like have related to like what's going on now, it's always a matter of what if. And the what if was if Garrison Hurst is healthy, if Terry Kirby never hurts himself, they probably win that game. They only lost by 2 points.
Yeah. Also, I'm looking at Garrison Hurst Pro Football Reference. I didn't realize that cost him 2 years. Wow.
Yes.
I did not know that.
He lost 2 years, and then he ran for 1,000 yards in the year he came back.
Yeah, 1206.
Which is incredible. That's insane. But yeah, Garrison Hurst.
Wow. Garrison, naming I saw an article by Jason Aponte naming random Niners. I think we're at that point.
Oh, well, do you want to get into that? Because I
just like naming random Niners.
All right, so let's go. Anthony Spice Adams. Boom.
Zach Kesey. That's my go-to.
Nope. Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy was a Niner?
Yes, sir.
Can I do OJ then?
Go. Do OJ. Leave it out. I got another one. Todd Bowles.
See, I think you're going to go way further than me because I got Arnaud's Battle. You remember Arnaud's Battle?
That's great. I love Arnaud's Battle. Tony Dungy and Todd Bowles only played 1 season for the San Francisco 49ers before they went on and becoming successful head coaches. Rod Woodson.
I was going to use Rod Woodson. I'm going to try and go. Walt Harris.
Nice.
Walt Harris.
Love it.
First ticket stub I ever had was Walt Harris.
I love it. And if we're talking like random 49ers, Eric Johnson.
Tim Rattay. Remember when Tim Rattay was good?
Hell yeah, Tim Rattay. Do you remember when Derek's brother was being chanted for? David Carr?
Oh, my God.
Look, I love this
fans,
one.
Man.
I love this one. Read it.
God, that's hard to say.
Suspiciously specific.
Man, I'm 42 and barely remember our last Super Bowl win against the Chargers. That was great. Team, though, Jerry. Yeah. Steve Young, Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders is elite. He's a random Niner, dare I say.
Is he?
I mean, technically, every Niner I name is random. If I just name one randomly.
Now, this is the one, and I feel like I'm more equipped to answer this than you are.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Morton Anderson makes the field goal against the Niners.
Cali, they played them to the buzzer. Atlanta played them to the buzzer. And Minnesota had won 15 games that year. 15-1. Moss has been on a 15-1 team, an undefeated team, and neither of those teams brought home the Super Bowl ring. If the 49ers are in that game, give me Steve Young and give me Garrison Hurst and give me that team with Owens and Rice. Give me all of that. That's me being the homer. But Minnesota 15-1 and lost to the Atlanta Falcons, and the 49ers lost to the Atlanta Falcons by 2 points. Let me be a homer and just let me live in my own world, in my own multiverse where the 49ers get it done.
Julian Peterson.
Nice. That's not random. He's a baller.
He was
Gary
good.
Plummer.
He was who?
Gary Plummer.
Gary Plummer. I had another linebacker. Oh, Jeff Ulbrich.
Jeff Ulbrich.
Yeah.
All right. No. I got you. Lance Parrish.
I feel like I should be. Marcus Lattimore. I literally just threw it out there.
He's not a Niner. That does
Glenn
not count.
Coffey.
That does not. Glenn Coffey does count. Absolutely. William Floyd.
I was so excited for Marcus Lattimore, dude. He was so good at South Carolina, like so good. Kenjuan Balmer. North Carolina.
Shit.
Why is this hard? Like
Matt Plummer.
Elvis Garback.
That was
different,
a little man. Steve Bono. Yeah, come on, man. We doing like that's not random.
Michael Crabtree.
That's not random.
Not random. Okay, so we need to go like random.
Okay.
Give me a second. I got Shante Spencer.
Oh, that's a really fucking good one. That is really good.
Shante Spencer was fun.
That's a really good one. Shit. Mike Rumpf.
Joe Nedney.
Wow.
You remember Nedney?
I do. The kicker. I'm tired of you.
Andy Lee.
Mike Kofer.
Jose Cortez.
All right.
Did he kick with no shoe? He had one shoe, right?
Guy McIntyre. Like, I love that one that Jenny.
Jalen Hurd.
Jalen Hurd. Does he even play football?
He was Christian McCaffrey before he was Christian McCaffrey, man. Niner fans were just drawing him up everywhere in the Niners. Niner fans had him listed as a tight end and a wide receiver at the same time.
R.W. McQuarters, Dexter Carter, look at these names. Jamie Winborn, look at these names.
Who was it? Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
Two more. Go.
Wide receiver.
Two more. Go.
Wide receiver. He got Josh Morgan. I was a huge Josh Morgan guy, and then he got hurt in that blowout game against the Buccaneers. They won like 49-3 or something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Josh Morgan.
Absolutely love that one. Chuck Levy. Let's go. My real 49er fans, Chuck Levy. I used to use him in Madden 64 and run over everybody. Go.
Another wide receiver.
One more.
I was very high on Dominic Ziegler.
Wow. Wow. Good call.
Stevie Johnson too was another one. Like we should just do that. Like when the Niners have you remember when we used to say something positive about the Niners?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Random Niners?
I think this should just be when the Niners lose like week 1 to the Steelers, like 74-3, because the Niners never play well in week 1. We'll just sit here and just rip off random Niner names.
Again, Chris Borland is how I'm going to end it.
Chris Borland's a very good one. He was the guy who was supposed to be Patrick Willis when Patrick Willis got up and retired, and then he got up and retired, and that was pretty. I don't like to talk about that.
I don't like talking about that either.
I don't like that.
That's the end of the Harbaugh era. And the one game that I went to the 49ers to see was against the New York Giants, and Chris Borland had the interception that ended the game with Eli Manning, and he was incredible, man.
I didn't watch the Niners during the Tom Sula, Chip Kelly years. That's how out I was.
No.
After the Harbaugh thing, I was done. I was out. And then the one I was playing Madden, and I was like, oh, this guy has a cool name. I think I should start watching the Niners again. Full circle, it was Jaquiski Tartt. Jaquiski Tartt's an all-time football guy name.
Love you, Tartt. All right. This is my question to you. Did you get to listen to the Play Callers podcast?
I have not. It's on my list. I need to. And I honestly think, though, Jason, that if I had listened to it, I don't think I could have an in-depth conversation with you, because I feel like there is so much prerequisites to really understand. I'm working on understanding these books right now. That's my level, but I need to listen to the Play Caller podcast. 1,000% a must listen from what I've read from the group chat.
Yeah, I think you should, and I think you don't need to understand the books or anything like that. I think it would implore you to move a little bit further into the books and watch the film and all that stuff. But the Play Callers podcast has a ton of beautiful nuggets, and I'll bring one up just for a conversation piece, just for you and I. Kyle talked about his philosophy heading into the 2019 playoffs. Mm-hmm. Against the Minnesota Vikings. And he said, well, if I build my defense this way, I will be able to run the ball 35 times. And he said, the one time that I called a pass, we almost threw it to a linebacker.
And I think he specifically said, and he dropped it. Andrew Pasquini, I will pass this to you for your thoughts on that. And then I'll get into the rest of what Kyle said in the NFC Championship game. So I heard that clip. That's actually one of the clips I heard. Uh-huh. I think that is one of the most interesting aspects of the Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan relationship, because we talk a lot about Jimmy Garoppolo Kyle Shanahan in terms of trusting his players. That always feels like the biggest thing, right? I don't think he trusted Jimmy Garoppolo much, and I think that 2019 playoffs was very apparent of that because of how much they ran the ball. But it's obvious that he respects the hell out of Jimmy Garoppolo because how much he goes to bat for him and how much that it always seems we were joking earlier about it. Jimmy Garoppolo, like I kind of miss having him right now because he was just that like safety binky, right? Like it's like, oh, like Lance or Purdy. Well, you know what? At least we can fall back on Jimmy Garoppolo because he's just always there. And it's just so interesting because Kyle always seemed to like go back to, because how many chances did he have to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, especially after the Super Bowl? They could have moved on and gotten Brady in 19. They could have moved on and gotten Stafford or Deshaun Watson, which ended up being,
they tried. All right. Andrew, I miss Jimmy Garoppolo too, man. It's okay. Just say it. I miss him. I miss him. And I think that, again, it's the grass isn't greener on the other side.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
And you don't know that he's not the problem. He's not the problem. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't the issue with the 49ers finding their quarterback because they still don't have their quarterback. So, love you, Jimmy. I hope that Vegas treats you well. But at this point, yeah, man. Maybe I judged you too harshly.
Yeah, I just don't think people have realized like whether, because I think on this podcast, Jason, I think we made it pretty well known that we don't really care who the starting quarterback is. We just want to see the Niners win. But I don't think people realize whether it's Trey Lance or Brock Purdy or your Sam Darnold guy, you sickos out there, that it's fully possible that we go this full season and we still don't know who the Niners quarterback is after the season.
Andrew, I just want one of these guys to lock it in because if you don't lock this in,
this is the most consequential year where if the Niners do not figure out the quarterback, you know damn well who's coming through that door next offseason.
Say his name.
And you can catch him on quarterbacks on the net.
Say it.
You know it's going to be Kirk Cousins.
It's Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins battled through injuries last season, played every single game. If you look, 49er fans, this is your biggest challenge, or this is 49ers organization. I know you guys are looking at me. Lock this down.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, here he comes. That's Kirk Cousins' music.
Yeah.
Here he comes. And you know what? Say what you want about Kirk Cousins. The man has played every single game that he's been available to play in. And that is a luxury 49er fans have not been able to have for how many years? The last time someone played all 16 games was Jimmy Garoppolo in 2019, and look how close they got to a Super Bowl. Yeah. So 49er fans, this isn't to you because it's not your job. 49ers organization, this is to you. Figure it out because I know what's about to happen, and everyone else can see it coming.
What I'm nervous about too, honestly, is playing this game of and I'm not necessarily, honestly, like I'm at the point, I think 3 years ago I was very anti Kirk Cousins. I am at a point where I'm just like, I'm bracing for it. BNA, yes, we were 1,000% gaslighting. I hope you're ready.
Hell yeah.
Know that.
Hell yeah. It's part of the things that I'm working on in therapy, by the way, also. What's the one outcome this year that you don't fall back on Kirk Cousins, right? Like if Brock Purdy has a repeat, let's say you take what he did in 6 games last year and extrapolate it over 17 games. Is that enough to prevent it? Mr. Niner faithful 49er. We need one of those guys to lock down the position so we don't have to talk about quarterback uncertainty for the 20. Yeah, and that's also what it is. But spin zone, this is the last year of it. I'm going to guarantee it. This is the last year of it. You're going to guarantee what?
That it's the last year of quarterback uncertainty, at least for the next 3 years.
Christ almighty.
No, because it's either we find out that Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, or Brock Purdy is the guy, or Kirk Cousins is the quarterback next year. Where's the uncertainty next year? It's either one of the 3 that are good this year, or it's Kirk Cousins. No uncertainty next year, right?
The views and opinions expressed by Andrew Pasquini on the Sprint Right Option podcast do not reflect those of my own. I think this is good. This is a good one. Let's do this.
Who's better, Cousins or Jimmy G?
Cousins. He plays.
That's probably my answer as well, is Kirk Cousins.
He plays. I love you, Jimmy. You're way more handsome. You're way more handsome. You know, like you can walk into a bar and say, you, and you, let's get out of here. Kirk can't do that. Kirk wears socks with thong sandals. I get it. But Kirk plays every single week at least. And no matter what, Minnesota Viking fans, I don't know if you're here, but I'm sure that you have problems with Kirk Cousins and you want to figure out what's going on with him. The one thing that we can't relate to is he plays. He plays football every single Sunday, for better or worse. And the 49ers have not been able to find that for a long time. And there's something that needs to be said about that at least. The quarterback documentary is really good to us.
I was curious, who was the last 49ers quarterback to start all 16 games before Jimmy Garoppolo in 19?
Shit, Christ. Jeff Garcia.
Colin Kaepernick in 14.
Wow.
So we're talking about 10 years. 10 years, 2014 to now. The Niners have had 2 seasons where a quarterback has started all 16 games. Or I guess 17 games now. So maybe I am wrong in terms of the conversations being gone. But yeah, I really do think that this is the last year of the conversations, because it's either the quarterback who's good this year or it's Kirk Cousins next year. One of the two.
All right, Andrew.
I didn't mean to take this way. Like we just kind of accidentally stumbled upon it.
It's okay. Do you want to talk about the fact that the people that Jeremy Fowler polled said that Nick Bosa is the best edge rusher?
Yes.
Trent Williams is the best left tackle.
I have the list.
Go for it.
So Fred Warner is the best inside linebacker. Dre Greenlaw is the 10th best inside linebacker.
That's actually very surpraving, and I'm very happy to hear that.
Oh yeah, that I wasn't expecting Greenlaw, so I'll give him that. Javon Hargrave, the 5th best defensive tackle. Nick Bosa, the best edge. Talanoa Hufanga, the 9th best safety, even though he was voted one of the top 3 by the media last year. Remember that?
All pro.
Trent Williams, number 1 offensive tackle. Christian McCaffrey, the 2nd best running back. George Kittle, the 2nd best tight end. I haven't read the inside line, interior offensive lineman. I'm assuming the Niners have none there. They just released the quarterback list today. I'm assuming the Niners have none there. The last one is wide receivers. That is tomorrow. The Niners might have 1 or 2 representatives on that list. Probably none. Let's be 1,000% honest. But we'll see what it is. What I thought was funny, this list, right? They tell you what their highest ranking was and their lowest ranking. Did you know that one of the 80 execs, coaches, whatever in the NFL, and no disrespect to this player, had Dallas Goedert as the number 1 tight end in the NFL?
Dallas Goedert's a hooper.
What?
Dallas Goedert is a hooper.
Yeah, he's very good. I just don't think if you have, like, if it's the tight end position, how you don't have Kittle or Kelsey at 1, what list? What tight end list are we looking at here?
I'm not going to talk crazy about Dallas Goedert.
I'm not either. I'm not either. But to say he is 1 above Kelsey or Kittle, I don't know about that one, Jim.
That's someone's opinion.
Someone's opinion.
All right. Okay. In terms of dynasty rankings for, like, let's just make it fantasy football. By the way, promo code Aponte on Underdog Fantasy. Make sure that you double your first deposit up to $100. We're going to be holding a sprint right option best ball draft. I think that's something that we actually like to do. But Goddard is somebody that is physically gifted, has been in the league for a while, and I understand why people would automatically put him up there. I wouldn't say that he's higher than Kyle Pitts. No. Not for the culture, because I just drafted Kyle Pitts in my Scott Fishbowl league. By the way, shout out to everybody who pulled up to the live draft at Scott Fishbowl. And so what's up, all the Niners fans, Michael, Ryan, all of those dudes, man. I appreciate you guys, man. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, Kyle Pitts over.
I have a hard time underrating Kyle Pitts because, like, it's not his fault. Like the physical talents are still very much there. It's just it's got to be rough having the third best quarterback on quarterbacks on Netflix throwing the ball to you when your team runs the ball a million times as well. Obviously, it wasn't very. What's up, Tristan? It wasn't very.
No, don't say what's up to that Raiders fans.
Conducive. Wasn't very conducive.
You saying what's up to Raiders fans now?
Can we talk about my Trey Lance for Kyle Pitts trade proposal?
Well, what does that have to do with the Raiders? Tristy talking about the Raiders.
Okay. So Jim Harbaugh and Jimmy Garoppolo, Raider legends, same team. Devontae Adams, very good. Josh Jacobs, pay him. I think everybody's pro paying players. That'd be cool. Max Crosby's cool.
Wow.
Max Crosby's cool. I like Max Crosby.
Wow. Okay.
I think Max Crosby doesn't get talked about enough.
Did you watch the quarterback documentary?
I have not. That's on my queue. You know what I have been watching? The Bear. Humps. You need to watch The Bear. Have you not?
The Bear? Like, it's on FX. I know, bro. Like,
okay, you're okay. You know what it is.
I'm just midway through my Insecure rewatch, and I'm
going
through
my feelings. We just finished The Bear season 1 last night. We just finished season 1 of The Witcher because Jamie's a Witcher fan, and I got to watch that. Apparently,
is she a Witcher fan or is she a Henry Cavill fan?
A little bit of both. She likes video games too. She plays The Witcher.
Oh wow, she plays The Witcher and you don't?
No, I don't play The Witcher. Andrew, I don't play video games for nerds. I play FIFA.
Oh Christ, man! And you want me to play MLB with you?
Actually, that's a lie. I've been playing Civilization 6 lately, and I feel like that's like
wow. Nerd alert. Sorry.
Where are we at? The Bear. You need to watch The Bear. Phenomenal show. Phenomenal. The Bear. FX. Also, watch What We Do in the Shadows. I've been preaching that one for a while. That show's phenomenal. What else? I
love. God, what's his name? Taika Waititi. So like
Taika Waititi. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Very good. Produces the show.
Polygamous young man who has like 2 girlfriends is something that we should all aspire to be.
I don't know how we got from talking about the Raiders to talking about TV.
Yo, this is not a 49ers podcast anymore.
Hey, whoa. I love Love Island. Love Island is the show.
No, but you gotta watch Love Island, the British version. That's what Tristan.
You know what I couldn't watch is the one that everybody, and I forget what it's called. Everybody, Love is Blind. That one hurt. That one physically hurt.
Oh, you mean the one that they couldn't even get the finale off?
No.
That's not the same one?
I know. It's the one where you can't see the people.
No, but they tried to get the finale off and they tried to live stream it on Netflix and that shit didn't work.
I watched the first season of Love is Blind like maybe 3 months ago, and it was the most painful TV show I've ever watched. And I used to watch The Bachelor religiously. Okay, like bad. The Bachelor is just wrestling, but for dating shows.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the tie-in. You got your heels, it's the old people don't realize how much wrestling they watch without watching wrestling. If you watch any dating shows, you're watching wrestling. If you watch UFC, spoiler, you're watching wrestling. If you're watching Broadway, spoiler, watching wrestling.
No, let's get back on track here. How do we tie this back into the 49ers before we just get completely off the rails?
So I had one that I really actually was angry about, and I don't like to get angry at these. So if you go to the top 10 cornerback list in the NFL, and you scroll, and you scroll, and you scroll, and you scroll some more, and you go past the honorable mentions, and then you scroll a little further, and they have this little section called also receiving votes. And it's Stephon Gilmore, who like is fine. James Bradbury, which is cool. J.C. Jackson, which like the Niners didn't sign him. He wasn't good. Carlton Davis, Trent McDuffie. Charvarius Ward? How the hell is Charvarius Ward only in the also receiving votes category? I think he should at minimum be. I'm not trying to say like he's a top 5 cornerback in the NFL. Yeah. I know he's a little newer, but like the ones in the honorable mentions is Xavier Howard, J.C. Horn, Tariq Woolen, Tre'Davious White, and L'Jarius Sneed.
Well, I will say this. I think Mooney doesn't get a lot of love.
No.
Because he's not making splashy plays. But again, anybody who's actually watching understands his real like conducive way that he helps the defense. And again, he's one of Kyle's guys. He just one of Kyle's guys.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's like, I find this hard to digest because if this was a casual fan bringing up this list, I wouldn't be as upset, even if I would like quote tweet them and like say whatever. But like scouts, GMs, former players.
That's my thing.
Come on, man.
Because also, too, the Niners, like, I don't know if you've heard this, Jason, but the Niners defense has been very good for at least 4 or 5 years now. But they were never quite the best. Charvarius Ward was the piece that I think got them to that best defense in the NFL standpoint. And even too, I know it's not like the sexiest of lists with like Shante Spencer and Walt Harris and Carlos Rogers and Chris Culliver, but to be able to say that Charvarius Ward is the best 49ers cornerback since Deion Sanders. Yeah. And anytime, like, as I said, I know it's not the sexiest of lists, Niners cornerbacks, but I firmly believe that just having any sentence where you could say Deion Sanders in the same sentence should get you more votes. And as I said, I'm not trying to say Charvarius Ward should be top 5, top 8, top 10, but just not having him in that honorable mentions area and even having him behind JC Jackson. I know JC Jackson had, because I'm assuming this honorable mention and also receiving votes is in somewhat order. I know JC Jackson kind of turned it around last year, but for him to be the big name out of free agency a year ago and then have him not be what he was supposed to be, and then have Charvarius Ward, who I don't think, hand up, Jason, when we were previewing the last offseason, I don't think you and I had Charvarius Ward listed as a Niners should go sign this guy.
No.
And for him to do what he did to the Niners defense last year, a big part of it. I mean, even just the idea, because respectfully, we're talking about Ambry Thomas and Diamador Lenore at the end of 2021. I know that's a different conversation, but just to be able to be like, yeah, the side that Charvarius Ward is on, that side's not even going to get looked at, is pretty nice. So yeah, I think my biggest complaint Niner wise on this list is Charvarius Ward just being thrown in that also receiving votes area and not in the honorable mentions area.
All right. So let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a whole buck. Nick Bosa is the number 1 edge rusher this year because he won Defensive Player of the Year, but because Myles Garrett and TJ Watt were injured. Like, all right, I don't know how to explain this without, being rude to 49ers fans or, being over the top, but it's just like TJ Watt's on like a historic pace with sacks, and like he like tore his pec, and I don't think that the idea that Nick Bosa is number 1 as an edge rusher is wrong. No. But if we're talking about the years, like what's going on, kind of makes sense, like why he's there. But I wouldn't put him over at this point, like Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. Everybody seems to think that Micah Parsons is going to win Defensive Player of the Year this season. But TJ Watt's a baller, man. Yeah. And like, bro, he had like 22 and a half sacks. How many years ago? Like what, a year ago, 2, whatever? Like it makes sense given the current climate. It makes sense given the past season, but I think it's okay for 49er fans to say Nick Bosa isn't the best, but we're really happy to have him and he deserves to be paid. That's the best part about this.
Yeah, no, because like also too, you mentioned Micah Parsons. Niner fans act like Bosa's like light years ahead of him. And I know a lot of that has to do with the uniforms both are wearing, right? Because there's a little bit of that Niner Cowboy thing going on. But yeah, no, the fact that Nick Bosa is the top of the edge rushing list, because if you look at it, his lowest ranking was 5. So somebody had him as the 5th best edge rusher.
They did.
But I don't think that's
insane.
No. But like, as long as you're in that tier, because the 5th one was Hassan Reddick, right? That's the 5th one. And Hassan Reddick's very good. We saw him blow through Tyler Kroft last year, right? We saw that happen. But he's not in that top tier of edge rushers.
No.
He's good.
He had a very good game.
As long as Bosa's mentioned with Watt, Garrett, and Parsons, I personally don't care the order from there.
Yep.
because those are your 4 premier pass rushers in the NFL. The order just comes down to probably what area of the country you're living in, right? And so, yeah, Jason, you're absolutely head on the nail. Like, I'm happy that he was number 1. And is that a dumb thing that might cost the Niners a few more bucks in contract negotiations? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, man, I mean, I think a lot of these lists have actually been very accurate in terms of where the spots have been. But I think a lot of them have been, up for debate, because I like Nick Bosa is very good. I think we know that. Is he the best? I don't know. Let's see what this year plays out, because now we're kind of back at that point of like, let's see what this season looks like and see where it goes. Because I think the thing of having a career high 19.5 sacks or whatever number he ended up with, I think it was 19.5. How does he follow it up? Let's see how he follows it up, because I don't think it's very likely, but it's a full possibility that he regresses a little bit. Everything's a possibility at this point because the games are yet to be played. I don't think that happens. I think Nick Bosa is going to continue that upward trend. And I think, to steal from Brian Rennick a couple of years ago, his bold prediction for the season was Bosa breaking the sack record. That could be in conversation again this year.
I took the Homer thing. Like, I wrote a whole article about like the odds for certain players, and Christian McCaffrey, for what it's worth, is the first non-quarterback that is the highest odds to win MVP. The only one that I really chose was like, I think Nick Bosa has a chance to be DPOY again. Again, he's gonna get paid next week. He'll be paid probably this Monday, like the next Monday, right before camp starts.
We're in that time of year.
Yeah. And I do think that there's a chance that he doubles up on DPOY. So for me, it's more about understanding the odds and everything. But for Nick Bosa, I feel like I jump out the window and I'm like, all right, I'm like cool with like being a homer, and I'm fine with that. But I understand why Micah Parsons is the overall, leader when it comes to like the stats, and when MVP has to do with quarterback, offensive player of the year. I've got Justin Jefferson winning offensive player of the year. Let's talk about this real quick. Comeback player of the year, the highest 49er that is listed with odds is actually Sam Darnold. And then Trey Lance is right behind him. Brock Purdy's not listed for comeback player of the year. By the way, let's squash this out real quick. Change the name of comeback player of the year to the DeMar Hamlin player of the year.
Oh yeah, that's who's gonna win it.
Once DeMar gets on the field for 1 minute, takes one snap, it's his, and rightfully so.
Yes.
So I don't feel so bad about it, but it is interesting that Sam Darnold's on it because he was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of people, like Baker Mayfield's on it because he stinks. But, like, Brock Purdy's actually coming back from an injury.
Do you want to know what the odds are? Top 3?
Go.
For comeback player of the year?
It's DeMar Hamlin minus something.
DeMar Hamlin is minus 500.
It's nailed down. He was at the ESPYs. Yeah. He was at the ESPYs giving out the award to the Bills athletic trainers. It's nailed down. All he has to do is get on the field. Yeah. All he has to do is put on the equipment, and he's in.
Yeah. The next 2 are tied at plus 2,000. It's Tua, which makes sense. Tua and Russell Wilson.
He stunk. He didn't do anything but stink.
No. Like, yeah, that's the thing. I think in normal, like, comeback player of the year should be like that guy who has an injury. I think that's what it should be. Right? Like obviously not a DeMar Hamlin level injury. Like, I never want to see that again, but it should be the guy who's coming back from that injury. You could have a most improved player. I think that, like, split that up.
That's a way better. I think it's a way better way to gauge people who have come back from playing poorly. Mm-hmm. Yep, comeback feels absolutely to me like you are coming back from an injury.
Yeah. Dan Campbell plus 850, coach of the year.
Nope. Coach of the year, Mike McDaniel. Put me down right now.
Plus 1,800 for that.
Coach Mike. Put me down right now.
I'm just clicking through the odds now. Yeah, Bosa actually has the 4th best odds for DPOY.
He does. But put me down for Coach Mike because Coach Mike has a defense now that the only team that has a better defense in the AFC than Coach Mike is the New York Jets. But he will be able to get an offense going as long as Tua is alive and playing better than the New York Jets, even with Aaron Rodgers.
Did you know for Opoy, Deebo Samuel has plus 3,000? That's tied with Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, and Saquon Barkley.
It's Justin Jefferson's award. So
plus 10,000 gets you Jimmy Garoppolo, Opoy.
Not going to happen. Justin Jefferson is your offensive player of the year. You're welcome on July 17th.
How about plus 25,000 on Gardner Minshew, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, or Mitch Trubisky?
What are we talking about, Blood?
I'm reading odds. I was curious to see who the longest odds were. For MVP, the longest odds are Odell Beckham plus 25,000.
Your MVP
is actually the same odds as George Kittle.
Your MVP this year is Joe Burrow.
Your MVP this year is going to be your MVP until forever is Patrick Mahomes.
Nah, Joe Burrow wins it this year. The Bengals.
Yeah, I think Mahomes has one more MVP in him. I think before we start doing the like LeBron thing, where it's like, yes, he's the MVP, but like we need to start rotating people in. Yeah,
I think the Bengals are your AFC champion.
McCaffrey odds. What if I told you for MVP, Brock Purdy has better odds than Christian McCaffrey?
He does,
which I guess makes sense.
He's
positional importance. Purdy's at plus 45. McCaffrey's at plus 8,000.
He's a quarterback. Plus 8,000 is
plus
your
8,
first non-positional. It's tied with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Is the same odds as Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo, tied with Jimmy Garoppolo. 100%.
Tied with Jimmy Garoppolo.
This is how you know I'm a gambling degeneraate because I looked all this stuff up, and I looked at all.
He knows. Jason knows. Jason knows.
I do. I am ashamed to say that when I say that I feel like this person's gonna win, I put in that futures bet. So
I love it. Yeah, man. I don't know. We're at an hour. Time flies when you're having fun.
This is it.
Time flies when you're having fun on the internet. Wiz Khalifa threw out the first pitch
for who?
Pittsburgh. That's cool.
Oh, black and yellow.
I'm trying to find out if this is a real tweet because it was sent to the group chat we're in and it's fake.
Oh, and it could be fake.
It could be fake, but it definitely looks like it's Photoshop. That says Wiz Khalifa tweeted, "Shroomed out throwing a baseball is crazy," but it's also Photoshopped. I don't know if it's real or not. Oh no, it's a very real tweet. Huh.
I love Wiz.
He tweeted, "Finna get stoned AF and throw out this first pitch at the Pirates game." And then he followed up with "Shroomed out throwing a baseball is crazy." In case you're wondering what Wiz Khalifa's doing today.
He's throwing out baseballs for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And you know what? And I just want to reiterate, while it's great to be back with Andrew Pasquini, it's great to see all you guys. Baseball is not a real sport and nobody cares, so I don't want to hear anything about baseball.
Well, let's see. Hang on, because Shohei might be a Giant in 2 weeks here, so hang on a second.
Andrew, are you going to do this again to yourself?
Oh, what do you think I've been doing for the past 10 years? Dog, Bryce Harper's wife has me blocked on Twitter. That's how much I used to tweet about Bryce Harper, dog.
Andrew,
when he was a free agent, it's hot. I don't know if you can tell.
No, I can tell. But Andrew, like I'm gonna let you get out of here. But Andrew, don't do this to yourself, man. Please.
Oh, I'm absolutely doing it to myself. Well, what else is there to do watching baseball other than hoping the best players sign with my team, only for them to never?
Once we get out of this rain delay, Ellie is sending the Giants home. Go Reds!
We got a Reds fan in the chat. I love it.
Fry their ass. Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz is sick.
Has made me really love baseball again because I'm tired of the boomers, and he just is incredible. Like, even the boomers have to be like, I can't do anything about this. The Nationals general manager, Dave Martinez, baseball legend, he used to play baseball, wanted to check Ellie De La Cruz's bat. And Ellie De La Cruz hit a no fucking doubter and looked at him and hit the bottom of the bat.
He's like, hey, you want to check it? Check this?
Oh my God, man. We need more. We need more.
How about the 3 stolen bases on 2 pitches?
Dog, he stole every single base and just scored.
On 2 pitches. Like that's unheard of.
I I feel like I used to do that to like my cousin when we would play baseball games, like, and I would play, I would just be like, I would steal every base, or he would throw home, and I would like fake run back and forth. That's how Ellie De La Cruz is moving. Yeah.
Jason, the last question I got for you, maybe the most important question of the day before we get out of here. Are you going to go Barbie then Oppenheimer or Oppenheimer then Barbie?
Oh, let's talk about it. Your guy is watching Oppenheimer tomorrow.
Ooh, tomorrow?
Tomorrow!
Love it. Tell me what happens. Spoil it for me.
I won't. Apparently, there's an atomic bomb.
I already know what happens.
There's an atomic bomb. Yeah. But no, tomorrow I have advanced tickets to see Oppenheimer. I love it. And that is exactly what I will be doing tomorrow. I am wild excited. I will see Barbie when I get to the West Coast. I promised Tessa, like, we'd go. You know, like she said, yeah, like, let's go see it, like, when I get out there. So I'll hold off and I'll see it with you guys. But Oppenheimer, cinema is fucking back. And tomorrow I get to watch it early. I'm so excited. I love myself.
The fact that the culture in America right now is that we get to choose whether we want to watch the atomic bomb or Barbie. Like, amazing. Amazing. What a world.
What a
world.
Not both.
What was that?
Not both. You want to watch both?
Oh, I'm watching both. Yeah. No, absolutely. I don't know what day I'm doing it, but like I'm gonna do the double feature thing. I'm doing both in a day.
I'll do Barbie when I get out there. Tessa made me promise to like watch it with her. So like, and all you guys. So
absolutely. No, yeah. I think the right order though is Oppenheimer then Barbie. I think Barbie's the Oppenheimer's the shot, Barbie's the chaser.
Or you have to go to brunch to go see Barbie, and then like you go home and you take a nap and you got to get ready for Oppenheimer. What?
BNA, part 2 of Oppenheimer.
Part 2 of Oppenheimer. I don't think. Spoiler alert. I'm not sure.
I don't think they're gonna. If American cinema ever shows that, they're gonna tell you every lie in the book. Oh, they're not gonna tell you what actually happened. So yeah, man. So what do we talk about today? Just wrap it up. Madden, the Raiders,
Random Niners,
TV,
Love Island,
the Sprint Red Option Podcast, a variety show you didn't know you needed.
Absolutely,
we love it. As we said, listen, this is probably the last like very loose full episode you're gonna get from us. 100%. We're getting very serious. We're back. This is like the big announcement of the show. We're back to weekly episodes. I don't know what day we're recording yet. Next week, we'll get that to you when we get it. But this is not a we're here, goodbye for another month. This is a we're here and we're here to stay. We're here to stay. We're going to be back every week, and then we're going to slowly get back to 2 episodes a week because we're Jason. We're a month and a half away. I think Scott Hansen tweeted 8 weeks. 8 weeks from 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Scott Hansen, what is it? Friend of the podcast.
We love Scott Hansen, friend of the podcast. Haven't said this in a while. Let's see if I remember how to do it. Jason Aponte, as always. There we go. We got it.
Let's go Niners. Love you guys. I'm so happy to see you guys.
We haven't lost it. We'll see you next week, guys.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's